morning. It's time to get InTouch. InTouch is a public affairs show dedicated to improving the lives of Susquehanna Valley residents. I'm Freddi Hammer, news director at Backyard Broadcasting. Well, as communities across the country brace for economic backlash, or may even be feeling it at this time, all related to the coronavirus epidemic, many looking for answers on how to cope with a number of stressors happening. Well, I know who we can call to make sure people are cared for in Lycoming County and Sullivan County and Tioga County. It's the folks at the United Way. Good morning to both of you. I got Ron Frick, President and CEO of Lycoming County United Way. Good morning.
Good morning, Freddi.
Hi. And Brittany Fischer, Vice President of Community Impact. Hello.
Hi, Freddi.
Thank you for joining me from your remote locations. Aren't we social distancing in a good way here this morning?
Well, thank goodness for technology.
Absolutely.
I was looking online about 211. There are a number of groups of people who utilize 211 and have been since 1997. Ron, tell me a little bit about the service of 211 before the coronavirus hit.
Sure. So 211 is a national service. Like 911 and 811 and 411, it's a federally mandated number. We have been involved in the service for most of that time. There's been a number of organizations that have managed the service, but our service is based on a regional system. Our particular group is out of northeastern Pennsylvania, and they have about 19 counties that they service. So folks can literally call this number in virtually every county in the state as recently as January and get help with human services. In addition to calling the number, in addition to dialing 211, we also have the technology available where folks can text their zip code to 898-211, and they will be put in contact with a caseworker at the 211 system.
Asking Brittany about the impact, as far as the impact person you are, what kind of impact does this bring out in our county?
Well, 211 is a wonderful service because, if you're in a time of urgent need, such as you're experiencing homelessness and you're not sure which way to turn, 211 is there to help work you through some questions to figure out what resources are available. But 211 is also there for other needs that are human service related, but maybe not so urgent. So we don't want, the only message to get out there that in a time of crisis they're available, because they're available at all times and for a number of different resources that they can provide. So I think they're making huge impacts in that regard. Absolutely.
This is a service now that people are realizing, hey, I might need these services, and they may be the first time they've decided, hey, there's a 211 service I can use. What kind of person right now is facing these kind of issues with the coronavirus?
I would say that people experiencing some unemployment changes and going through maybe realizing that their pantries are not as well stocked and they're needing some help with some food assistance, or they're just not sure where to go to provide a service to their child who's right now out of school, and they're not sure what educational resources might be available. I know the community has really come together to try and provide 211 with as much updated information on programs being offered to those impacted by the coronavirus. So they are trying to keep up to date with making sure that community members who are experiencing some new needs have the resources available to turn to.
Ron Frick, President and CEO of United Way, Lycoming County, Sullivan County, Tioga County, all these different areas, people are facing these challenges for the coronavirus. When you saw this coming, did you feel confident or were you a little more nervous? How did you feel knowing at the helm of the United Way that this storm was coming your way?
Well, Freddi, this is not anything unusual for the United Way. United Way organizations across the country are dealing with issues like coronavirus, like natural disasters. It's really part of our DNA, and so, we were prepared not only nationally but also locally to be able to use the 211 system to be able to triage those kinds of issues. As Brittany said, it's really a system that anyone can call for any reason. They're going to get a number of different ways to contact area partners, usually 2 or 3 different ways that they can contact people. And really, the folks that are the caseworkers and that are answering the calls at the call center are really trained to just get to the bottom of what the real issues are. So while right now it might be something related to coronavirus, they might also identify something that the person needs and can put them in touch with real help in the community. So this is something that United Way actually helps to fund, not only at the state level but also at the local level. Part of our budget is used to fund 211, and at the state level, some of the state funds that are allocated every year are used to help us support the technology needs and the system itself. So it is really a robust system that the community can count on. And so, as we saw this coming, folks at 211 were able to staff up and be able to handle what's been a doubling or tripling in the volume of calls.
Ron, is the United Way of Lycoming County at this time a partner with 211 with other United Ways, or are there other organizations that also take that kind of role like you are here in our area?
Yeah, so the Lycoming County United Way is a funding partner of Pennsylvania 211, which just recently, effective January 1st, the actual system merged in with United Way of Pennsylvania. So United Way of Pennsylvania is sort of the parent organization, the advocacy organization for United Ways all across the Commonwealth. And so many of us, in fact, almost all of us, do contribute to the 211 system to make sure that it's operational. So in our case, it's a small part of our budget, but we believe it's a critical part of our budget.
Where are the people receiving calls when people need help when they use 211? Where are the call center people?
So the call center is in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The Family Service Association of Northeast Pennsylvania actually operates the call center. In some cases, those call centers are actually operated by United Ways in some communities. Mm-hmm. For example, in Lancaster, that particular regional call center is operated, within the United Way structure. But in our case, it's really a third-party partner that we contract with to actually provide the service.
You had mentioned earlier that you're very typically ready for disaster scenarios because that's sort of what the United Way is partners with others to do. And at this time, did the resources and the things that are happening with the coronavirus, has it made any kind of impact in your office of having to make differences to the website or making new protocols because of this pandemic?
Yeah, I would say, we're all operating remotely. There's 5 of us in the office, and so we're all operating remotely. We've suspended a lot of our fundraising activities and sort of been focused on trying to determine what are the needs in the community and how can the United Way best play a role. I think most of the folks in the community know at this point that our actual fundraising effort this year has been down, and so it's putting a little bit pressure on the financial resources of not only the United Way but also of many of our community partners. And so we're looking for ways, partnering with others in the community right now. There's been a lot of Zoom and conference calls with members of our community to try to determine what role can we play as a community in helping those nonprofits and those organizations that are helping clients on an everyday basis.
I'm sure then fundraising is something that's definitely, like you say, at the back of your mind, and as far as making sure that we are going forward with the resources that we need. What can we do now to sort of make sure that's going to be happening in the future? How can we do fundraising even though you're not doing any kind of official events?
I would say, Freddie, from our perspective, one of the best ways to do that is to donate to the United Way. And so, folks can still visit us on our website at lcuw.org. They can still text to give. We are answering phone calls remotely at the office. So if folks want to call, our main number at 570-323-9448 and leave a message, we will certainly give you a call back and capture credit card information and those kinds of things. But, we've had a couple of people mail in checks even since the coronavirus scare started. So people are responding. And so, there's lots of ways to continue to do that. The other way to do it is just to continue to support those organizations in our community that you've already supported, including some of our small businesses. Many of our donors are large corporations and small businesses in our community that support us on an annual basis. And so now's a great time for us to be, doing takeout and reaching out to them, sending them little notes of encouragement. And even on social media, we've done a lot in the last few weeks just to try to get people, to understand that there is hope out there beyond all of the news of the virus.
There certainly is. And because of the United Way, we can have a little glimmer of hope like that. Brittany, let me ask you about the process of using 211. Can you explain to people, maybe it's not something that you call and get the assistance right away. It's more of a hand up in a way, isn't it?
Well, yeah, what it is when you call or text and you reach a representative on the other line, what they're going to do is kind of triage you through some questions to really identify the reason for your call and any other back information that they can gather. From there, their goal is to give about 2 to 3 referral resources. So they're going to give you contact information and a little bit of detail surrounding the information they're providing you, for you to then call yourself after you hang up with 211. So they are not dispatching, they're not patching you through. What you do with the resources after you hang up is on you. But they are, giving as much information as they can. And what I've been telling many of our community that's come to us for questions on 211 is 211 is only going to be as strong as the information they're given. So we are putting so much effort into making sure that our human service providers around the community are communicating what programs they're offering or changes or updates or anything like that so that 211's database can stay as current as necessary.
Well, it's really wonderful that this service is available and that it's so easy to use. There's the different ways to do it. You can text, online, or by phone.
Correct. And there's lots of different ways to access it. We're trying to make sure that not only is it prominent on our website, we're doing a lot of social media work right now, interviews with folks like you to try to get the message out to the community that 211 is available. Information and referral is important, especially at this particular time, in our community's history. And it's really important to make sure that, people have access to the information. It still amazes Brittany and I that there's a lot of people that do not know that 211 even exists in our community. So we're grateful to organizations like Backyard Broadcasting and to your show to get the message out to people that this is an important community service. We need you to support it. We also need you to call it when you really need help.
All right. Well, we certainly are going to continue to upgrade our details as the things come in about the coronavirus. I want you both to stay safe as you stay your social distancing. Your particular offices, the United Way offices, how are they coping with this particular pandemic?
I'll answer that only because I'm very socially driven. Working remote is quite challenging. We have our staff has taken a very fun approach in using a Marco Polo app where we're able to face communicate with each other multiple times throughout the day. So that's helping us get by. And we're in constant email communications with one another and members of our community, along with our community partner base. So we're certainly getting by with our technology means, which is wonderful. But I'll tell you, being socially distant is very challenging for me.
Well, we have to give you lots of affirmations and hard work that you're doing. We really appreciate it, Brittany.
Well, thank you.
And you too, Ron. Thanks for being at the helm of an excellent organization for Lycoming County. We are so grateful that you are there to help us help ourselves.
Well, thank you very much. It's really our pleasure. We talk about this a lot around our staff team table about how important the work is, that we're doing in the community, and we all enjoy what we're doing. We all enjoy being around each other. So, being socially distant is a little bit of a challenge right now, but I got a great team of people who are doing great work and a great group of partners in our community that are serving folks that really need us, especially at this time.
Well, thank you both for everything you do, and we'll be able to move forward. And when we come out on the other side of this thing, we'll meet up.
Sounds great.
Thanks to you,
Freddi.
Brittany Fischer. She's the Vice President of Community Impact, and Ron Frick, President and CEO of Lycoming County United Way. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
InTouch is locally produced in our studios at 1685 4 Mile Drive in Williamsport. To get in touch with us regarding questions, comments, or topic ideas, call weekdays between 8 and 5, 570-323-8200. You can also write to us at 1685 4 Mile Drive, Williamsport, PA 17701. Attention Freddi Hammer. Or email me at fhammer@backyardbroadcasting.com. For archived programs of our InTouch series, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backyard Broadcasting. Each current weekly program is featured on the Backyard Broadcasting websites. Thanks for listening to InTouch, a production of Backyard Broadcasting.